The kitten
and sits in the grass. Ryan, you must have to read this.
Ryan.
The fat
Oh, no one's going to be able to do the yellow one. Read these sentences, but you've got to try and hold on, wait. On this time, I don't say it. You've got to read it before the next slide. Enjoy. Otherwise, you don't get a point.
Men and the dogs.
Instruction passing in the slide.
These are on YouTube so you can practice at home. I want to know if anybody, before I come in on Friday, again, you're going to go 3 days, if anyone is going to be able to get at least 6 of those blue ones before the next slide.
Remember when I was talking to my dolphins who I was working with this morning when we were reading?
Yeah.
That's what we said we needed to practice on, is just getting that fluency, didn't we? Being able to read those sentences. Because you can read them all. You said you can read it better in your head. But it's nice to be able to read out quickly.
And that is actually, because what you're doing now, because now you're a reader, could we just go back to one of those slides on blue? Let me show you what you'll do now, because you're becoming readers, which is why actually you will be able to read it fast quickly, but it will annoy you because you'll want to. So look, what we actually do, when I first met you last term, listen, most of you were going, so your brain and your eyes, your brain was telling your eyes to go, the, that, and anytime you come to a word that you didn't know, you'd have to really slow down. Or some people were going, the fit frog sits on the, because what were you doing?
Sit.
Not really looking, yes. You noticed because I said fit frog. And I've got some videos of some of you children reading it and you're not even saying the right word, but you're just carrying on, carrying on, carrying on. Whereas now, what do you think your eyes are doing? What do you think your brain's telling your eyes to do now? Do you think you do actually look at every single word?
Yes. Yeah. No.
You don't. What you do is you scan. If I look at this, I actually don't go do. I actually go, I'm going like that. I'm scanning it.
And that's
why
it's just
natural. I don't want you to try and do it.
Read fast in your head.
Because what you do is you get the whole thing, and actually in a split second, my brain's actually taken out the information because I've been able to go, and then I can read, and I can be reading it at the same time.
And you've been doing that to me when I'm reading out aloud to you with those groups. You say to me, oh, Mrs. Hasraya, you made a mistake. But that's because I'm reading ahead quickly too.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a bit trickier sometimes to do what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. So one person thinks that they can say this really quickly?
Me.
One person.
In a shouting voice and a talking voice.
Emma?
Emma. Emma.
I know.
You can just stay there. Emma. It's fine. You can see it.
The fat frog sits on the high hill and spits a drink of milk because he wants to get fit. He wants to be an athlete.
I know you think, did he get any words wrong? He didn't. Now, the next challenge before Friday is this one. Could we now come out and go to a different clip on YouTube because we've got 2 minutes before break? This is the one with the pronunciation. Now this time, we actually have to, we're not reading fast because all those you can read, you're used to reading those words because they're all in the ones that you know. But in pronunciation, let's just click this one. Now this poem, you might, in your class, you might take,
Okay,
somebody might take a few
I want
sentences.
somebody to be able to read this and pronounce every word correctly. I'm going to read it for you. I might not pronounce everything correctly. I'm just going to give it a go.
You find us ringing.
You might do it as a class.
You
might
decide
decide
which
that
set
something
or I'll
might
go. You might get little
a
strips
sentence,
each.
or you might go.
How do you want to do it?
I don't mind how you do
important to you.
it, whether it's an individual effort or a group effort or the whole class. But let's see if you can actually pronounce this whole poem. Because your decoding is so good now, most of you will be able to
I'll
follow
print
the
it off
sound,
here, I'll
say
print
the
it to you.
word, and actually get it right. But don't forget to check with Google. Go to Google, and don't forget to check the pronunciation of the words as well.
Right, who can tell me? There's 2 words in there that are the same words, but who can use their noodle? Damon. Who can use their noodle, Gladys? Yes, your noodle. Who can tell me?
I'll eat it.
Who can tell me this one? Who can read that sentence to me? Go on then, Damon.
Tear in eye, your dress will tear.
What? Wait, yes! What did you just say just then? Say it again.
Tear in eye, your dress will tear.
Yes, because even if it's the same one, because he's now a reader. So now he's not just looking at that and thinking to e or whatever. Now he's getting the meaning, and now he knows tear in eye, your dress will tear, because he said tear and thought, no. And that's what I had to do all the time whilst I was reading this, and I actually had to be looking at it and scan ahead to be able to see what it's going to be to try and make sense of it. So when I went into
Have
some
fun.
oh, and I had to
How
look,
long it takes you.
and I had to look up a couple of them.
Took me a long time.
Do you know how to pronounce that one?
Which one?
S-U-C-C-O-U-R.
S-I-C-C.
I thought it would be secure, but actually I listened on Google and it was sucker. That's what we know to do now, don't we? Hold on, let's have a look. See if I can find another one like I just did with.
Does anyone know how to say this one? That one.
Hold on.
Listen.
Who thinks they can read this line and this line?
I will keep you. What hurts about this?
Busy.
Make your head and hearts grow dizzy.
What? When you correctly say croquet, rounded.
What's that word, everyone? Next one.
Wounded,
Popcorn word. Yeah.
grieve and sleeve. So what's the same here in rounded and wounded?
Oh, I know.
Alaska.
Rounded and he got wounded.
Yeah, it's the same word. What's different?
Oh, it's just changed to a W.
One's got R and one's got W, but instead of saying rounded, wounded,
Wounded.
it's rounded.
What's the